Social isolation is detrimental to children's mental and physical well-being, and we may need to rethink our decisions about keeping children away from their peers and away from the school environment. So here, as you can see, we have a bar graph of children in social isolation and the different symptoms that they were having. We conducted the survey in late July of 2020 through SurveyMonkey. There were 16 respondents of children in primary and preschool age that participated. Now, of these 16 participants, 50% mentioned that their child or children suffered anxiety and depression due to the social isolation. Approximately 56%, that is more than half, responded that their child or children suffered feelings of loneliness. We have also approximately 18% that said they had a weight gain. 38% had an increase in anger and tantrums. So we had one more survey also done through SurveyMonkey in late July of 2020, where we asked caregivers what they would prefer in response to school options for their children, virtual school or in-person school. And we asked what their main reason is leading up to the responses. We had 21 participants, and 6 of the 21 participants chose virtual. And their main reason was to stay safe from COVID-19. We had 15 of the 21 respondents choose physical, and they felt that in order for the children to learn and succeed, they needed social interaction. So here we have our very own Dr. Scott Cloak, pediatrician at Memphis Children's Clinic, ex-chairman of pediatrics Memphis Germantown Le Bonheur Hospital for 18 years. And here are some things he mentioned in regard to questions we asked. One question we asked was, what effects have you seen recently with children due to social isolation, if any? And he responds, quote, so what we have been seeing is kids don't go out and socialize as much. They don't go to the playground and play with each other. They are not going to each other's houses. They are not going to their churches, places of worship, so they don't see each other as much. We are seeing more kids spending more time on TV screens and computer screens. We are actually seeing increase in weight in a lot of these kids because they are at home and they are bored and they eat a lot. Socially, their development is hampered a little, but I think they will be fine once they get back and start socializing again. Another question we asked was, have you seen an influx in weight gain or obesity in children due to the recommendations of social isolation? And he goes on to quote, we are seeing trends worsen. So if you are already overweight, we are seeing the increase in weight really magnify much more quickly. Some kids still get outside and play by themselves, but we are seeing more obesity and decreased activity type issues at our office. Another question we go on to ask is, if social isolation in children continues, do you see issues that will arise from your experience? He says, well, and then goes on to say, quote, but I worry about, for instance, a lot of boys like to play video games even as we speak before COVID, and they spend a lot of time talking to each other online. I see a lot less boys wanting to get driver's license at 16 and date. They become more introverted. Communication skills in kids, and he goes on to say, aren't as developed. Another question we came upon and asked was, do you as a pediatrician see a positive outcome or a positive influence from social isolation within children? He goes on to say, quote, so the only thing that we are seeing that's any positive at all from this is the fact that the kids aren't around each other, so they are not really getting sick. So we are hardly seeing any sick visits. We go on to ask him if he has any extra comments or concerns with social isolation in children, if parents continue to isolate their kids from people. And he says, again, quote, well, it might be something you want to selectively not isolate your kids. And then he goes on to say, I would really not like to see the kids socially isolated much longer. That's why the whole return to school thing and return to learn, the AAP, feels that it is necessary for kids to socialize. So with that, we go on to ask Dr. Scott Klug if he would prefer, in his opinion, virtual versus physical school. And he responds, quote, "I would prefer physical for those that can do it."